Hello and welcome. It is the 10th day of March 2021, currently 1600 hours or 4 p.m. Eastern Time. All bets, trades, and amongst the like. Well, that is each his own risk and their own reward. And I'll be using the selected four-letter F and S words in this video. So let's get started. Theta 601 fiat dollars. Yeah, fiat. Like I said, I'm going to be using the four-letter F word, and those are ones that people just don't use. And that's bullshit, because sometimes words require adjectives to explain a noun. And I think fiat does a very good job of that. Now sometimes it's not needed. Hot fire, wet water. I mean, it's kind of obvious that it's hot, it's wet or whatnot. But we live in a world where to most people, it still isn't all that obvious that our money is fiat. Currency is fiat. Yeah, Mike Maloney, years and years ago, I think it's Hidden Secrets of Money, episode 1, I think it was, challenging people not to call those debt notes money. Currency being that of a better word. And I've done very well in so many years. In fact, a lot of times in just real-time speak, it would be like with people, oh, no, you mean currency. Because for it to be money, you need to have store of value and all those tangible things. But currency, we can use that as a specific noun for our fiat currency. Anyway, $6.05. In an uptrend here in the daily term time frame for that of Theta. I mean, it was pretty high back then and down to 383 in March. And back then, that was the hourly time frame. So it's been just fantastic moves here on that of the weekly chart. Ever since it got above the 18 average of highs, lifting above it at like 14 cents. Well, 14 cents it was, $6 now it is. Only price pays, and well, much higher prices. And a lot of people are, of course, having their portfolios, their life savings, if you want to call it that, doing very well, and most certainly much better. So within such, as far as understanding your own situation, profit-taking measures, and where do you see the upside for things like that of Theta? And for me, I still think that this has got a lot of legs to go. I don't know how close to that 1,000 level, which was stated by, I think it was Miss White Dove, before you could even get this on Binance, which was the early part of 2018, right when it pretty much came out. It was like 5 cents or 6 cents, 7 cents or whatnot. And you can see in here all the times it was trading for so cheap, and I've had a fantastic run. There's going to be good corrections along the way to that of destination. So the journey and such, well, the journey so far hasn't had any major correction since it's lifted off from its all-time lows within the exchange here on Binance of about under 4 cents. And you've had a 150x move. Those numbers can go 200, 400,000, 2,000x, we'll see. But along the way, especially if we are talking like 800, 2,000 or whatever monster X numbers, well, it could make sense that you have significant price corrections along the way. And it could go up big now in the sense of, oh, maybe we can go up to like, say, even 100. And then you have like a big correction that comes back down to like, maybe even like here, which would be where we are now, like $5. Oh, 80 to 5. And then cryptos do what the cryptos things do. Monster moves to the upside and to the downside. That's what it is. And until it's not, I won't expect anything different along the way. And as it goes now, I can just think, okay, well, if we come back, maybe here we go down to like 2, or maybe come back down to like 75 cents as potential areas. But the higher this goes up, the higher my potential target levels for I think we'll come back to will be, because quite frankly, when we were rising up to 75 cents, I didn't think it was going to come back down to $1.50, because it mathematically can't. Oh, okay, so here, what can we go down to? Well, maybe we can come back down to 28. No, did not do that. And have we have this gain? Okay, well, now maybe we might come back down to 50 cents. I'd be very surprised now if it does. I would be very surprised if it goes below $1. But think of going down, what move to $1 would be. Key low, key high, X moves type thing. Key high, key low, and of course, whatever the key high would happen to be. So now developing what would be a key low. That would still be much larger than this last one. And it would be a 6x retracement from this point. And that's something you really got to understand when you're playing these major X moves, that they work on both sides. So therefore you have a move here where you go from, well, even let's say from this breakout low of like well under a dime to 56 cents, and you go down to like 20. Wasn't much of a correction here, but still one of a little one. Same thing here. I guess you can even say same thing in there. So at some point in this time frame, it's got to hit the 18 average. Then the 18's either got to flatten, it's just going to go sideways and eventually go lower, or just break through it and have a retracement mode. I'll calculate Fibonacci when the time comes, but at this point, it's not really worth doing because there is no signs of a top. There's no signs of this cooling down by any means whatsoever. The daily term is having just a fantastic move. So is the weekly, 4 hour, all doing fantastic. Theta's in at against Bitcoin, 10,780 Satoshi, nicely above the 10 even number. Got up to it a week or so ago. Resisted near it a couple days back. And then it congested and supported it more than anything just earlier today. Now it's lifting nicely above from this level. And as I explained a long time ago, I fully expect on this breakout for this to have a decent size. And when I say decent, I don't think it's that big of a move from here on in, but kind of is, like near 20,000. I mean, that's not even 2x from here. I remember way back in the day with the 1,000 unit and 1,400 unit, whatever prices. 14 being the higher end and 1,000 at the lower end. 10x move. So now I'm looking for what might be almost 2x. Key high, key low, all that kind of stuff again. From this one, major correction, all of this. This was just a beautiful setup. Now it's having its move. So that's its action, is having the move in play. How high this goes? Probably higher. I'm thinking, again, close to 20. At some point, again, another correction is going to have to be coming into play. Monthly chart. As far as this is concerned, this is just really breaking off from the 18 for a good move right now in this period alone. Because it's just leaving the correctionary one in the previous one. But as it goes right now, 55.8% up against Bitcoin. And that's how it is. Moving on to BTC, 55,600 US fiat dollars. Yeah, I'll use that F word again. And we can see that it's been in a nice little uptrend. And just maybe, I'm not going to draw it in. I've talked about this before. I think it's much higher, but you need a log chart to really look at this. But wherever, I know it's not even close to being straight, but regardless of the fact, you can see to get up to this point, we've got to go well above 100 most likely from the looks of it. And I've even talked about different things like X moves from key high, because here we have like basically around 1,200 going to 20. Like 18x. Well, 18x on 20 would be under 400. On the daily, beautiful run from here. And where did we leave off from? Yeah, about 11,000, 10,000. I mean, this was the area in here that was just such, okay, we're going to go up at some point. Well, now the point, some point is now point. Nice little correctionary phase in here. And then another leg higher. Technically, it's still in correctionary phase. I mean, it's attempting a breakout in here. But until it really gets above this sideways reaction, it's going to be in a range-bound market. It has done well in establishing support on one. Even this one here, 1, 2, and really all of these days in here. But it said goodbye to it, at least for now, in here, because it's supported here, which was, you call this resistance, but at least it's supported much higher than it did before. And it resisted where it had resisted before. See, it's broken above this level of resistance. So higher lows is what bull markets need. This is a higher low here, so it's a retracement, yada, yada. Usually where we came from is a good likely spot. Where we came from is in at 52,000 area. A little bit below that would be more, well, lower end anyway. 18 average, of course, was gone above that. It's just going to start to barely rise. But until it gets above the previous high, well, it's going to be tough to believe that, yep, this Bitcoin great rally is going to get us to 60,000 is going to be really soon. I mean, easily potentially could be, but if you see it noticeably above high, and really that is, and quite frankly, I don't think 60 is going to be that great a resistance looking at such, because 60,000 is just a microscopic pierce above. And within the Three Little Bears, I talk about just a book and I think a TV show I used to watch back when I was a little kid, late 70s, early 80s, that something had to be just right, like the size of their beds and the temperature and the just way the texture, the porridge, stuff like that. It can't be. It's just like toast. You can't have it too soft. Can't be too burnt, if you will. It has to be just nice and right. And that's just the way it should be oftentimes. And this being one of those times as far as just getting market sentiment in the sense of, if this thing just keeps on breaking in like 80, 90,000, I mean, that's kind of too much. But although a lot of investors wouldn't mind that, myself included. And then you have situations where this barely gets above. Like, and that would be where 60,000 would come into play. So I don't think that 60,000, if it ends up getting there, is going to stay there that much longer, and it's going to go much higher. But if we don't see this thing get there, we're pretty much been close now. Today's intraday high is 57.4. If it gets up to 57, 58, 59, it's still in the mode of attempting to break this out. And it can very easily form a layer of resistance, be a 2x hit of the high, and now we come back, we'll be talking about support at 51. Or 50 even, for that matter. And then meeting up within the newly trying to rise 18, trying to break it, and all those words are key words, trying. And then there's always the doing, exactly like what this market is doing on the monthly term time frame, and what I was showing Theta was doing on all these other time frames, and that is breaking out. And let's make the last chart HBAR, 23.2 pennies. Fiat pennies. Volume coming in here, sustaining volume so far. What an interestingly amazing rally for the entire year. January weekly term time frame, we can see it's just come in on this breakout. Buyers obviously in full control, well noticeably above the previous resistance areas. First at lowest at 5 cents, and then 6 cents, and in here it was 8. Now it's 23. Daily chart. Nice little breakout, come back to the 18, nice little high. And here, nice little high. Could have been a little higher, but not bad. And here we now are on the action of breaking out. Even on the short term, we established support in here. Nice little failed breakdown if you think of it. And even in here, you can see an attempt 6 o'clock this morning to things to go down, but no. An attempt at 12 o'clock and 1 p.m., 1300 hours to break out. So far, so good. Level of resistance here at 22 cents. Intra move, not really. Maybe it's will be a major pierce above. If it is, it's almost a leg higher as it is. Where did we come from in the area? Well, I mean, this is a deep correction now going back to 20. I'm looking to go back to like between 21, and if it can go up even as it is now, 22, as where we came from support. It's just been a fantastic run on the HBAR price. And looking at it against the BTC, the Bitcoin, nice little range in which it did have. It's been breaking it right now. The first layer of resistance was roughly around here, about 300 Satoshi. And this high, which was only a once hit level until just a few days ago, 359. And when it hit that a few days ago in here, coming back to where we came from, these are the things I've talked about in so many charts, almost every single day it seems, or every single video. So you see it come back to where it came from, and then you see it making its lift off higher. So for over the last 3 days, the indication that this thing is like, okay, yeah, real move. And it still, to me, looks as if this thing probably has, who knows, a much decent size move, but I think a decent size legs to go. Its all-time high that it had is in at 864 Satoshi, and it did so in March of 2020, or 1 year ago. Now, earlier today, I did something that I wanted to continue on doing, and that is getting out of fiat currency and into something that's not fiat currency. I bought a few $100s worth, a couple dozen only, comic books, the best one being Spider-Man 361. That goes for a little over $200 Canadian. And I don't want fiat currency, which you got cryptos, you got silver and gold and all those great things. And I've talked about just stuff like this, comics in itself, that I think they're good ideas. Now, what I like is a world for, definitely myself and majorly included, where amateurs can, whether you're buying or selling, can at least not get ripped off by at least knowing what the market value is. A lot better these days than back in the old school days. So if you own something, I mean, obviously if you got something extremely rare that's so viable it's not on the market, that could be one thing, but almost everything like this is. And if you see how much it's selling for on eBay and different listings and stuff like that, it's good to have a good idea. So I was satisfied with the price in which that I got. And a lot of ones that just go for like $5-10, but another one that's about 70 or 80. But as it goes, I'm only starting to feel deflation in that things are just cheap to buy. A lot of it is because cryptocurrency prices are higher. So therefore, you can have a product A go up in price 20-30%, yet when cryptos go to like monstrously large higher moves, things become cheaper to buy. If you see silver, at least for me, silver prices going up like 4, 5, 6 times higher, I'm like, oh my goodness, things are going crazy. And yet this product goes up 20% and 50%. Well, it's much, much cheaper if I plan to buy it with silver. And there will be time frames in which that will be the case. But the plan has basically always been, as these cryptos move out like this, that one way or another, the cryptos are going to be moving into things like stuff just like that. And if it means that, okay, let's see, how do I do this? And I'm saying this to myself. This person wants cash, and I got all of these $50 and $100 and $20 bills in a safe, which I just want to get out of. You know, I'm kind of glad he wants it for cash, I'm thinking, because quite frankly, I know it's going to be in a world where people are going to be like literally going to be wanting to sell stuff to get cryptocurrencies like that. And different times I'm probably going to oblige if I like the deal. As the main focus is always going to be getting out of fiat currencies, but ensuring that you get into gains when you have them in play, which is basically starting to happen with cryptos at good levels, that is. So I think one of the key things is, if it's quote unquote smart to sell cryptos for cash, and you don't need cash, something actually not only does this mean you don't need, but something you want to sell as well, then it's going to have to come into, what do you do? Do you buy US dollars to trade, like tethers and like USDC coin? And then just, okay, I'm just going to hope it goes down, because you're saying that at some point if markets way overextended, I want to buy it back later. And then, of course, the big one will be gold and silver. And I think that's really where the big market moves are going to be coming soon, but I don't know when. And it wouldn't surprise me if and I kind of hope as well, that in a couple years go by and nothing much does happen. And maybe silver gets up to 50 or something, but not much more. And the reason why I wouldn't mind that happening is because it may give me a better chance to accumulate more. But as it goes, I mean, people always say that, and they have for like so many years in these videos. Oh, I don't want to go up yet because I want to get more. Well, when are you going to stop saying that? When do you have enough? And all those kinds of things. And not only that, even if it just happens to be going up, are you fine with such a fact? And whether that's gold, silver, cryptos, any market. And if you can say yes to those questions, then you're in good shape. And if you can say no, well, what can you do to make yourself say yes? Thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.